The moment the sky tore open over the magic realm of Eldoria, the alien fleet arrived, sleek warships dripping with technological arrogance, their shadows blotting out the enchanted forests below. Primitive magicians and their spells, sneered Supreme Commander Zoltrax, his eyes narrowing behind translucent warglass. Fools wielding smoke and mirrors. Against the might of the Galactic Dominion's war engines, they are as insects to a flame. His voice echoed through the crystal halls of the Dominion flagship, a cathedral of cold metal and harsh light. The Dominion had conquered countless worlds, devouring civilizations with ruthless precision, bending magic and science alike to their iron will. Their war factories churned out unstoppable legions of mechanized soldiers, weapons that could crumble mountains and burn stars. Yet, when Eldoria resisted with spells and enchanted beasts, they dismissed it as quaint superstition, fit only for extermination. Humans, a senior officer scoffed, scanning reports from the isolated blue world the Dominion labeled Class D. They cling to their anachronistic factories and rusted machinery while drowning in fairy tales of magic. They cannot hope to stand against us. Their crude technology will crumble under Dominion firepower. But deep inside Earth's war-scarred command nexus, Admiral Steve Rook surveyed his ragtag war factory humming with life, an ancient relic retrofitted with both old-world steel and cutting-edge ingenuity. This was no ordinary base, it was humanity's last defiant heart, pumping out machines of war born from steam, gears, and relentless creativity. They think magic is unbeatable, Steve muttered, eyes gleaming. But they don't understand factories like ours. Earth's war machines were an odd sight amidst the sparkling spells and glowing sigils of Eldoria. Steam vents hissed alongside enchanted runes, gears turned in tandem with incantations. The Dominion expected to face sorcerers, not a war factory that spit out tanks and automata powered by ingenuity and stubborn human spirit. Steve tapped a battered control panel, sending blueprints flickering into the air. They think we're stuck in the past, but every gear we turn is a step ahead of their magic. We build not just machines, but chaos. When their spells meet steel, they'll find out who truly rules the battlefield. His team cracked smiles as the first batch of warbits clanked into formation. Let them laugh at our steam-powered war engines and enchanted assembly lines, Steve said, voice low and confident. Because those laughs will freeze when the first bombs drop. We're about to flood this world with fire and iron the likes of which magic has never seen. With a final command, the war factory roared to life, smoke and sparks blending with flashes of mystic light. Steve's voice carried across the communication channels, blunt and mocking, magic won't save you from a factory of war. Prepare for the age of steam and steel. The Dominion's warships sliced through Eldoria's shimmering skies, their metallic hulls cutting cold shadows over ancient forests and glowing spires. Supreme Commander Zoltrax's voice crackled through the comms, dripping with disdain. Deploy the siege engines. These humans and their quaint factories will crumble before true power. Yet even as the Dominion unleashed waves of shimmering magic barriers and elemental storms, Earth's war machines didn't falter. From the sprawling war factory, steam hissed and pistons pumped. The first line of tanks, armored in iron and etched with glowing runes, rolled forward with a grinding roar that shook the ground. The Dominion spellcasters cast lightning and fire, but the tanks shrugged off blasts that would have turned lesser machines to dust. Suddenly, the humans unleashed their wild card, enchanted warbits armed with a bizarre mix of steam cannons and spell-disrupting jammers. The battlefield erupted into chaos as these hybrids sputtered and clanked, firing blasts that short-circuited magic midair. Sorcerers screamed as their spells fizzled, their powers rendered useless by unpredictable bursts of industrial madness. Commander Zelth, aboard the Dominion flagship, hissed, "What sorcery is this? Their machines defy all logic, half technology, half magic, and wholly terrifying." Alien mages faltered, their intricate spells unspooling into confusion as machines danced through enchanted fire and returned fire with ruthless precision. The Dominion soldiers tried to regroup, but the humans were relentless. Steam-powered drones zipped through the air, scattering clouds of arcane-disrupting smoke and releasing bursts of oil that slicked the ground. Eldorian beasts, once fierce and fearless, recoiled as iron warbits lumbered into their ranks, wielding flamethrowers that mixed fire with glowing glyphs. Back at the war factory, Steve watched with a grin. "They think magic is the ultimate weapon," he said, voice calm but sharp. "But they forgot, technology fueled by human creativity and chaos is unpredictable. We're rewriting the rules." His fingers danced over controls, sending out waves of mechanical mischief, magnetic pulses that scrambled Dominion sensors, holographic decoys mimicking Eldorian war beasts, and tactical smoke bombs shaped like dancing skeletons. Alien officers shouted orders in confusion as illusions filled their vision. "Are they sorcerers or tricksters? Or something worse?" one gasped. "Their machines mock our traditions, turning our magic against us." The Dominion's rigid ranks began to crumble under waves of unpredictable human tactics. Every advance met with a new surprise, every spell countered by a steam-powered gambit. Panic rippled through the fleet, not the blind terror of defeat, but a raw, visceral fury. The Dominion had never faced an enemy that fought with equal parts madness and precision. Steve's voice echoed over the comms, dripping with smug satisfaction. "You wield magic like a hammer, but we wield invention like a scalpel. Welcome to the factory of war." As the battle surged, it was clear, the Dominion's arrogance was cracking. The humans were not just holding ground, they were taking the fight to a world that thought itself untouchable. The age of magic was meeting its match in steam and steel. Just as the Dominion began to grasp the battlefield's chaos, humanity dropped their most unexpected weapon, the Warforge. Rising like a mechanical colossus from the heart of the factory, this towering behemoth was part assembly line, part battle tank, and part chaos engine. Gears spun wildly, steam hissed, and runes pulsed along its armored plates. Its weapons weren't just guns, they were factories of destruction, churning out mini warbits, explosive traps, and magical disruptors at a terrifying pace. Commander Zelf stared in disbelief. "Impossible. They have weaponized their factory itself." His voice trembled as the Warforge lumbered into battle, crushing ancient trees and magical wards alike. Waves of mechanized soldiers poured forth, each one a perfect fusion of human engineering and arcane disruption. Inside the Dominion flagship, Supreme Commander Zoltrax's composure cracked. "We are witnessing an abomination," he hissed, pacing the command deck as reports flooded in, mages incapacitated, fleets immobilized, and fortresses besieged by endless waves of machines. "Contain it. Destroy their Warforge before it devours us all." But humanity had one more ace, the Resonator. This bizarre contraption, half disco ball, half alchemical reactor, pulsed with chaotic energy that infiltrated the Dominion's command networks and neural implants. Suddenly, officers and soldiers found themselves compelled to dance uncontrollably or burst into spontaneous laughter mid-battle. Discipline shattered as fleets broke formation, and strategic planning turned to comedic chaos. "Is this warfare?" muttered an elder mage, struggling to regain control as the Resonator's influence spread. "Or a cosmic jest?" The Dominion's leadership frayed at the edges. Supreme Commander Zoltrax's once steely gaze wavered as his generals twirled in hallways and muttered nonsense spells. "How can we fight an enemy that weaponizes madness?" he demanded, his voice cracking with frustration. Meanwhile, Steve's voice broadcast across hacked Dominion channels, calm and mocking. "You thought magic was invincible. We prove technology fueled by chaos is unstoppable. Your empire falters not because of steel or spells, but because you can't control the chaos we bring." Galactic whispers spread of the Dominion's unraveling. Worlds once enslaved watched as the mighty empire's grip loosened under waves of absurd but effective human tactics. The stage was set for the final confrontation, a battle not just for survival, but for the future of magic and machine. The final battle unfolded not with thunderous explosions or blazing firestorms, but with a surreal spectacle that left the Dominion reeling. From the heart of Earth's colossal Warforge emerged an endless tide of mechanical warriors, each one a bizarre fusion of steam-powered machinery and arcane enchantments. Pistons hissed and gears clanked as tanks emblazoned with glowing runes rolled forward, unleashing bursts of molten metal and arcane fire upon the Dominion's ranks. But this wasn't just brute force, it was a carefully choreographed dance of destruction. Above the battlefield, human engineers deployed their piece de resistance, the factory finale. A synchronized holographic projection blasted across every Dominion warship and command center, turning their once feared leaders into grotesque caricatures. Supreme Commander Zoltrax was transformed into a giant, awkwardly dancing frog, flailing his limbs to the rhythm of Earth's most ridiculous pop tunes. Other commanders morphed into exaggerated puppets, lip-syncing with comically oversized mouths and googly eyes, their every move broadcast live across Dominion networks. Alien officers stared in stunned silence, then confusion gave way to disbelief, and disbelief morphed into helpless laughter. Discipline shattered like fragile glass. Fleets broke formation as crews abandoned their stations, doubled over in hysterics, or attempted to mimic the absurd dances playing out on their screens. The Galactic Roast 2.0 was more than entertainment, it was psychological warfare at its finest, shredding morale and turning pride into punchlines. On the bridge of the Dominion flagship, Supreme Commander Zoltrax struggled to maintain control. His cold, commanding voice quivered as he barked orders, but even his own officers struggled to suppress giggles or awkwardly attempt the moonwalk mid-command. "Cease this madness," he snarled, slamming his fists on the console, but the laughter only grew louder, echoing through the once solemn halls of power. Back on Earth, Admiral Steve Rook watched the chaos unfold with a sly grin. Calm and confident, he keyed the comms and broadcasted a final message to the defeated Dominion forces. "To all the empires who thought magic made them untouchable, remember this moment. We mastered steam, chaos, and memes 7 centuries ago. You just found out the hard way that human ingenuity isn't just about raw power, it's about turning your pride into a punchline." The broadcast cut out with the unmistakable sound of a mic dropping. A brief silence followed, then across countless star systems, laughter erupted. It wasn't just amusement, it was a universal celebration of a new era, where factories of war and sparks of madness combined to rewrite the rules of galactic conflict. Where the invincible became vulnerable, and the underestimated rose victorious. The Dominion's fleet limped away, fractured and discredited, their empire's grip shattered not by sheer firepower, but by human wit, absurdity, and relentless creativity. Worlds once under their yoke whispered tales of rebellion inspired by the chaotic war machines of Earth. The Dominion's arrogance was a legend broken, their pride a cautionary tale for all who dared think themselves untouchable. And humanity? They stood tall among the stars, their war factories still steaming, their spirits unbroken, ready for whatever came next. Because in a universe ruled by order and tradition, sometimes it takes chaos, memes, and a factory of war to change the game.